Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name's Owen with Team RE Combat Robotics, and today I'm going to be going over Kaleidoscope's first ever competition at Norwalk Havoc March 2022. Since I ran out of time before the event to do a proper overview, let's first start out with what is Kaleidoscope? Kaleidoscope is Team RE Combat Robotics' brand new 4-wheel drive vertical spinner built as a culmination of different ideas. Standing out from the rest of the pack with its all-welded 50-52 aluminum frame, 300-mile-an-hour tip speed, and incredibly long plastic forks, Kaleidoscope is far from just another spinner. Starting with the overall shape, the bot was designed to be very low profile and have a wide stance. The idea behind this was to make the robot harder to hit from the side, as well as improve stability when driving around the arena and hitting opponents. In order to keep the profile so low, 4 FingerTech brushless Megaspark motors and gearboxes were used for the drivetrain. These tiny but powerful packages are usually used to power 3-pound robots, but have proved very promising in testing. While the weapon on Kaleidoscope certainly looks different than Razor's Edge's drum, the electronics powering it are nearly the same. The weapon bar itself is half-inch thick AR500 armor steel and designed to provide a good balance of durability, bite, and energy storage regardless of what type of bot we're facing. Because the weapon spins at over 300 miles an hour at the tip, the amount of energy stored is comparable to Razor's Edge's drum, even though the weapon bar is much lighter. The last point of interest on the bot is the forks. They're machined from 3mm thick polycarbonate, and each independently hinged to ride on the floor. The hinge also limits their travel to only 5 degrees up off the ground and 15 degrees downwards. What this does is help to prevent the robot from doing front flips when it hits something, as well as better transfer energy into the ground. These forks are attached to the front of the robot with 3D printed mounts made from either carbon fiber nylon or TPU. With that out of the way, my team and I were able to finish 2 complete robots plus some spares to take to Norwalk Havoc. If you haven't already, make sure to head over and check out their YouTube channel for the highlights of the stream. Overall, I thought the event was very professionally ran, and behind the scenes there were some minor issues, but nothing that could be fixed for next time. Because the double elimination bracket was published before the competition day, we knew in advance that our first opponent would be Warhard XL. Warhard is built by John Juarez out of Houston, Texas, and is a classic 4-wheel drive egg beater vertical spinner. While this type of bot is similar to what Razor's Edge has faced in the past at Extreme Bots, Warhard features a largely UH&W frame, aluminum egg beater with steel teeth, as well as large squishy tires. As for Kaleidoscope, we bolted some various length forks to the front of the robot and threw it in the arena. With this being its first ever fight, it was hard to tell what was going to happen. Right before our fight though, we did get an interview with Katie Osborne, and the announcers talked about our bot a bit. Let's jump right into that, as well as our first fight against Warhard XL.
All right, let's go over to Katie. Hello, Katie.
Well, hey, all the way from Dayton, Ohio, it is Owen Coakley and Kaleidoscope. Now, the cool factor here is, A, you're a rookie. That's cool. Number 2, you have a weapon that spins at about 300 miles an hour. Is that a rumor?
That is correct. We're hoping that the high tip speed is going to be able to win any weapon-on-weapon engagement that we go against. But this is the first test that this bot's ever had. So this is the first time putting it in the cage, really testing it, and the first opponent it's fought. So we're hoping that holds up.
Okay, so rookie contestant over here. What are the expectations for yourself?
I want to put on a show and want to do well. Don't just want to die to some basic electronic failure, but looking to do pretty good.
Yeah, this is one of those situations, guys, where there's constant learning and growing, and that's what these guys are really going to put their pants on for today.
I love Kaleidoscope. It's the most gorgeous robot in the field here today. I was going to say one of, but I couldn't think of another one. It is the prettiest robot here today. I hope we can get a great shot of it. It looks like a cross between Endgame and Bite Force, made completely out of aluminum, and it's got this striking purple weapon bar. And there we go. Look at that thing.
Yeah,
Chris,
that's gorgeous. Great design.
That a beautiful robot. Oh, I just love it. Like the welds on that aluminum, that is hard to get. You know, like if you've ever tried welding aluminum, that is like very tough. Now, concerningly, plastic forks on the front, Chris.
And I think that was because of they really kind of maxed out their weight in that armor package and in the weapon.
Yeah, what he was saying yesterday in safety was that they're ablative, essentially. Like, they're very easy to rip those off. And he's got a ton of them in the back. I am concerned about plastic forks. I don't know if I've seen that before and see that be competitive. But we're going to have to see if plastic forks can survive, a 12-pound full combat fight.
Yeah, and you know my feelings about single-use plastics.
Yes, you hate it. Yeah. Just bring those right out to the water. Just throw them right in the water when you're done. Okay, good. All right, it looks like we're going to go over to Cage 1 for a 12-pound fight here. Kaleidoscope versus Warhard Extra Large.
2, 1. Fight. Robots fight.
Oh! Huge from Warhard Extra Large.
Oh, nice!
And those plastic forks are gone, Chris.
Wow. Oh, no!
Kaleidoscope now finds itself up on the rail. It's got itself down, and Warhard is on its head.
Wow, that is a scary bot.
You can hear it just spinning up at 310 miles an hour.
Cow.
Peeling up the top plate from Warhard Extra Large.
Wow.
Chris, they didn't need those forks at all.
Nope.
They just went weapon first. I love it. Huge shower of sparks. I am loving this match. Jonathan Juarez from Warhard Extra Large has now got himself off the rail and he's mobile again. But that weapon is dead. Owen Coakley, look at this.
Wow.
Tap out.
Wow, that is a tap out. Fast tap out from Jonathan Juarez and Warhard
That gave
Extra
me
Large.
like bite force vibes.
And that is a huge round of applause from the audience. They are loving Kaleidoscope. That was a huge win. All right, we're going to go over to Katie, who's here with Waddle.
Overall, I thought that fight was a great start to the day. Warhard proved to be a very durable robot, but I don't blame them for tapping out after the first fight of the day. By the end of the match, they were still driving fine, but the robot had taken some serious damage. As for Kaleidoscope, it drove way better than I thought it would over the wood floor. I felt like the robot had a good balance of drive speed and responsiveness, and the low center of gravity kept me planted during most hits. When the robot did get flipped over, the weapon was spinning so fast that it just hovered over the ground. So even after the belt guard and bearing broke off early on, I could still drive fine inverted. The most obvious thing in the match was that all my forks instantly disappeared. Interestingly, the polycarbonate forks themselves are fine, just the 3D printed TPU mounts broke. Spoilers for future matches, but this happens every time I hit anything. For future events, I'd like to try the polycarbonate forks again, but paired with some stronger mounts to prevent this from happening. The last bit of damage wasn't discovered until we got the robot back in the pits. My team and I had a theory going into the event that the 5052 aluminum frame wasn't going to be strong enough, and this was quickly proven to be right. After this match, the weapon uprights had bowed and twisted the weapon sideways. During the match, when the weapon motor sounds like it's bogged down, it was actually the weapon disc rubbing on the side of the frame. While this didn't seriously affect the robot this match, the weak frame was something I had to keep in mind throughout the day. Kaleidoscope's next opponent was Carmen, built by Michael Shore. Carmen is a very well optimized, vertical 4-wheel drive beater bar spinner with some cool sloped titanium side armor. Our strategy against them was largely the same as against Warhard XL, but this time we chose to mount our anti-horizontal UHW plow. The thought here was that the 5/8 of an inch thick UHW plow would help us to transfer energy into the ground better, as well as prevent us from doing front flips, because the forks are going to break off anyways. We still had the weight left over to run 2 sets of forks on the robot, and threw the second bot into the arena to give us the best chance with a non-damaged frame. Let's see how that fight went down.
I'm glad he's back,
7,
and I'm glad he's having fun with it.
5,
Yeah, absolutely.
4,
Okay, look at this.
3,
Undefeated bracket round 2,
2,
12-pound action.
1.
Kaleidoscope
Fight.
versus Carmen.
Wow. Oh, look at those forks.
Going weapon on weapon.
Wow.
Kaleidoscope has won that one exchange. Kicking
my
Carmen
goodness.
across the box. I'm seeing bits
Oh my goodness.
of plastic. The weapon on Kaleidoscope is
I think
down.
Kaleidoscope, yeah, they're out. That weapon is no longer functional. Belt hanging loose.
Kaleidoscope here is this absolutely gorgeous white and purple robot. Carmen, maroon and silver. and winning these exchanges. Kaleidoscope's plastic forks are gone, and you can see a bit of its bottom plate being peeled away. This is a tap out from Kaleidoscope, and Carmen advances in the undefeated bracket. Fun fact, Carmen was built by the builder of Voxel, Michael Shore here. You can see that Voxel-esque reliability here on display. Really taking apart this absolutely gorgeous robot in Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope lost its forks, it lost its weapon, and it found itself on its head, unable to self-right. Now when Carmen went around and hit the back of that robot, we got the tap out. All right. Now,
So not the best result, but that could have been a lot worse. Right off the bat, Carmen got a solid hit on the corner of the front plow. In hindsight, the triangular ears on the side should have been cut flush with the frame. After recovering from this hit and winning a couple of weapon-on-weapon engagements, I hit him square in the back. At this point, my weapon just comes to a stop, and I'm bullied around the arena until finally tapping out when I can no longer move. What happened here was that once again, the frame was not strong enough to take the abuse. After a couple of weapon-on-weapon hits, and finally when I hit him in the rear, the frame was twisted and bowed to the point that the weapon disc couldn't make a full revolution. Aside from the frame bending, I thought the rest of this fight went pretty well. I really wish I had gotten more of a running start when I hit him in the back, as I was only 1mm away from wrecking both of his drive motors and would have won the fight there. Because I didn't do that, Kaleidoscope 2 was now out of action, and I'd have to fight the entire rest of the tournament with only one robot. After getting kicked down into the losers bracket, Kaleidoscope was first up against Front Towards Enemy. While this spot's another vertical spinner, they feature 3 wheels on a triangular arrangement to move around the arena in whatever direction they please. My goal this match was to win without taking too much frame damage, and drive the match very slow and cautiously. Let's see how I did.
In the red corner, Kaleidoscope, very end game-esque.
Yeah,
we can call it.
Quick, reliable, sturdy.
8, 7.
It's going to have a good chance.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight, robots.
Here we go. Elimination bracket round 2, the 12-pounders. Let's hear some noise.
Not slow out of the gate on Front Towards Enemy, but here we go. Doing its best. Look at the fingers on that Kaleidoscope.
That is something else.
Polycarbonate, a wheel off already.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's, the mobility still looks good, though. I mean, that's one of the reasons you see multiple wheel robots. Oh, another wheel gone. So we are 2 of 7 wheels down in this fight. Something you don't get to say very often. A lot of spinning. Oh!
So close. Wow.
There's the hit we needed. There's the hit he needed. I don't think he's going to be coming back from this. Tapped out. And smoke.
No. Oh, no. We have a lipo fire.
Chris, where there's smoke. Man.
Front Towards Enemy has its top towards floor.
Mm-hmm.
Kaleidoscope earning itself a knockout.
And that's the elimination round, too. So that will be the end of Front Towards Enemy, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Unique bot. I hope we see it again. I hope we see some interesting changes. Let's take a look at this replay.
Look, and that hit really just did it all. There were some tactical errors earlier in that match. You can see the chunks. That's not from that last hit, but that fire, that's all about that last exchange.
Yeah.
That match went a lot more how I wanted it to go. Kaleidoscope's frame got a little bit bent out, but nothing beyond repair, and 3 out of the 4 sets of forks stayed on it the whole match. One of the rear wheels did decide to fall off the robot partway through the match, but they do that sometimes. I'll fix it later. Front Towards Enemy did have a really cool fire towards the end, which the announcers said was a lipo fire, but I'm pretty sure it was a weapon ESC burning up, judging by how short the smoke was. After this fight, we reattached the rear wheel, straightened the frame back out, and threw it back into the big box to fight against Demogorgon. Demogorgon was the first horizontal spinner Kaleidoscope was drawn to fight. Being an undercutter, I knew the forks weren't going to hold up very well against him, but we were out of time before this fight, and the plow is damaged beyond repair. My plan going into the match was to take him out with a few good weapon-on-weapon hits, but let's see how that plan worked out.
And you can shoot it right in the mouth.
6,
That's
5, 4, 3,
all right. Demogorgon and
2,
Kaleidoscope.
1.
Demogorgon, another Maryland robot, as we said earlier. And Kaleidoscope with those just frankly intimidatingly long forks.
Yeah, frankly intimidating long plastic forks on Kaleidoscope.
Frankly intimidating. Good name for a robot, actually.
Oh, good. I'm going to have to write that one down. Brandon Bennett Young, Mammoth team member Brandon Bennett Young. Looks like he successfully peeled off that back right wheel on Kaleidoscope. Demogorgon finds himself inverted, though.
Yeah, in that inverted state, really having a hard time controlling it. Seems like both wheels are working. It's just can't get the traction.
Kaleidoscope is the prettiest 12-pounder here today in the competition. I love this white and purple color scheme.
Really some strong both end game and bite force vibes off this robot.
Yeah, absolutely.
The deep plywood gouges left behind by depth charge is certainly not making this any easier for a three-wheeled Kaleidoscope.
No, but we do need to remember that is part of the challenge here at Norwalk.
Now the weapon on Demogorgon is down. That sound like a jet engine is from Kaleidoscope. The builder claims that Kaleidoscope has a 310-mile-an-hour tip speed.
Impressive. You know, the downside to that is a lack of bite sometimes, but we've seen some big hits out of Kaleidoscope. I don't think they have that problem.
Let's see if they can make another big hit here on Demogorgon.
Demogorgon, we're really going to want to see that weapon spin up, and I don't think it's going to happen. Otherwise, it's just going to be nuzzling into, a threshing machine.
Yeah, moments before tragedy here. Look at this.
Yep.
Ooh, a nice little shower of sparks. Can Kaleidoscope do it? They've trapped Demogorgon here in the side.
Oh, interesting. Not a lot of movement. I'm thinking a count out will be in order. And then no, back from the dead.
Kaleidoscope's drive is definitely impaired. Just kind of sadly twisting here. Demogorgon's drive is not much better.
We have two very injured robots here, so it's going to be somewhere between luck and skill.
Ricky, it almost happened. Wow.
So close. They tease us so, don't they, Luke?
I want to see a huge hit in the last 15 seconds.
Just one.
Just one
so
hit,
close.
Kaleidoscope. Oh, no.
That little exchange at the end, though, look, not a movement from Kaleidoscope.
Wow, all right, and this one will go to the judges. All right, let's check in with Katie. Katie, I hear that you're cage side, is that right?
So we got to go to this last match here that we just came from.
We've got here a judge's decision. However, the judges want to know from Brandon Bennett Young whether the weapon on Demogorgon was dead or if for some reason he turned it off. For some inexplicable reason. Brandon, can you hear me? Brandon is standing there with Katie.
Real quick.
All right.
Judges are asking, was the battery in fact dead or did you turn it off?
So the robot essentially is two systems. There's a weapon system and a drive system. So I think the problem was the weapon had a bit of stalling. So I think the previous match I had, it bent the whole system pretty viciously. So it's trying to basically draw lots of current and sort of browning out the receiver. So it kept going in and out. I think the weapon was like twitching, but it wasn't really getting to speed.
How would you rate that?
Violence. It was a great match. I liked Kaleidoscope did a good job of getting the impacts on it for sure. Both robots are definitely damaged, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can see that would probably be the case. Guys?
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon has confirmed that the weapon was dead at the end of that match. Mm-hmm.
At least severely damaged.
Yeah, possibly some electronic, kind of glitches there.
Yep.
Let's see if that changes the mind of some of these judges. All right, Don, Derek, and Andrew, let's ask you here verbally. Don, your call here, Kaleidoscope or Demogorgon?
I'm going Demogorgon.
Okay, we've got one vote for Brandon Bennett Young and Demogorgon. Derek, your thoughts?
Demogorgon.
2 for Demogorgon. That's enough to advance. Andrew, is this going to be a unanimous judge's decision?
3 for Demogorgon.
Wow! A unanimous judge's decision for Brandon Bennett Young and Demogorgon.
Yeah, it was. I can't say what the judges had in mind, but the guts for me is what did it. They really just kept trying the entire time. And
amazing.
You can't say that for everyone.
4.
Well, that fight was really disappointing. Demogorgon got one hit on my front left wheel and seized it, and then after that was me chasing him down the rest of the match. I've had a while after the competition to think about the judge's decision on this match, and I still don't understand it. I've tried to obtain official scores for this match from NHRL, but have gotten nowhere. If you have any theories about what happened or how the judges came to this conclusion, comment them down below. And with that, Kaleidoscope's run at NHRL March 2022 is over, and the 2 mangled chassis in front of me came to be. Overall, I'm very happy with how they performed, but I have a lot of upgrades I'd like to make in the future. Realistically though, my team won't be back to NHRL until the July event at the earliest. We do, however, have our local Dayton Extreme Bots event coming up on April 30th that I'm very excited for. This year, Team RE Combat Robotics will be running both Kaleidoscope and Razor's Edge. Kaleidoscope is getting a new, stronger frame, and Razor's Edge has all new drum internals, both of which I may show off on the channel in the near future. Kaleidoscope would not be possible this season without Leidos as their title sponsor. Myself and my team are incredibly grateful to have them on board, and look forward to showing off their sweet color scheme at events in the future. Once again, thank you to Leidos as well as Electric Works for sponsoring us this season. I hope you all enjoyed our event recap video. If you'd like to see more competition and damage photos, be sure to head over to our team's Instagram where our photographer Catherine has posted a bunch of cool media. Subscribe so you don't miss out on future recaps, as well as some cool machining projects I'm working on. Until then, stay safe, and thanks for watching.